Shem, my son, I'm so saddened that the people continue to ignore God's warning to come into the ark with us and be safe from the coming flood.
I know, Father. There is so much evil here. The people don't listen. They become enraged each time we try to talk to them.
Yes, Shem. It is only through God's protection that we have been kept safe from their anger and fury. Each time we try to tell them of God, they seem like they're wanting to kill us all as we speak.
I think you are right, Father. It has not been easy to continue to warn them, but I am sure God's heart is breaking for what is going to happen to them if they don't listen.
You are right, Shem. Every single one of these people is precious to Him. That is why we have to keep trying right to the very last moment to warn them and give them a chance to be safe.
And pray that they will listen.
One thing is for sure though, Shem, although it will break His heart, this is what God is going to have to do to keep His rescue plan on track. Because the way things are headed, without the ark to take us to safety, there will be no humanity left on earth to rescue. They will destroy each other.
I didn't even know that I was needing rescue. The threats and the dangers I couldn't see, I was heading right to. I needed help, but I didn't know. Needed saving from an evil foe. But I didn't even know that I was needing rescue.
Are the animals all settled in for the night, Shem?
Yes, Father. All is well. Now, slight problem earlier with those cheeky monkeys teasing the lions. They really have no sense.
Yes, those cheeky monkeys. Well, seeing all these animals up close and spending time with them continues to remind me how amazingly creative our God is.
Yes, for sure.
But it's sad to think that despite all those years of warning the people, they did not listen. And now so many precious lives have been lost forever.
I am still amazed at how long God waited, just hoping that some of the people would make the choice to come and be safe on the ark. I mean, it was like 120 years from when you started to build the ark, Dad?
There's no doubt at all of the incredible love God has for people.
And what the pathway looks like for those who choose to listen to the evil one. He just wants to destroy all humanity.
I'm so glad we have such a loving God. And I'm so glad that He has made a way to rescue us too. It's a wonderful promise God has given to us. He is going to one day send us His Son to be our rescuer. I sure hope that day comes really soon.
Me too, Dad.
Even though they didn't totally understand what was happening, Ali, Noah and his family chose to obey what God had asked them to do.
The winds were blowing, waves were crashing outside. Noah and his family were safe and dry. God had made a promise to keep them all safe, 'cause Noah and his family chose to obey. God had made a promise to keep them all safe, 'cause Noah and his family chose to obey. 'Cause Noah and his family chose to obey. When the storms of life are crashing round you, think of Noah and what he went through. You too can be safe, so follow him today. God really loves you, so choose to obey. You too can be safe, so follow him today. God really loves you, so choose to obey. God really loves you, so choose to obey.
So the world was so bad, God had to destroy it and just save Noah and his family?
Yeah, but you can see how sad he was about it all. That was not how God wanted it to go. He wanted them all to be saved. God created us with the freedom to make our own choices. Noah, right to the last minute, was trying to warn them, but in the end they rejected his offer.
That was back then. How is that connected to us today? And what has that got to do with Cade?
God's plan is to save everyone, Ali. We all have the freedom to choose which pathway we take. I feel sorry for Cade because it looks like the choices he has been making are ones that lead to harm, not to good. I am praying that Cade will not be like those people back in Noah's time who rejected God's offer, but he will choose to follow God's pathway for his life.
Well, Chloe, I think you better pray hard for that. Cade doesn't listen to anyone except himself.
Look over there, Ali. It is the model of the ark that Mrs. Jones was talking about.
Wow, that looks amazing!
Oh no, is it that late already? Mum will be expecting me home. I'll catch you later, Ali.
Chloe, I am so proud of how you were able to share with Ellie today your wisdom into how Cade is hurting and the story of Noah and the flood, and of my great love for everyone. It is through people like you, Chloe, who share this message that others will hear of the rescue plan too. I am always with you, Chloe, my daughter.
Oh, hi, Ellie. Is this the model of the ark? Chloe just told us about it.
Yes, Mel. Doesn't it look great? Oh, hi, Jack.
Hi, Ellie.
So that is the model of what Noah and his family were on, with all of those animals?
That's a pretty awesome model. I bet it took ages to build. I know how much work it was to build my magnet-powered car, and that is tiny compared to this.
It took something like 120 years to build a real ark, Jack.
It's an amazing model, and it really does help to see what it would have been like on the ark.
But I don't get why there was a flood in the first place.
Chloe and I were looking at this story from the Bible today, Jack. I think this is why.
It was because of God's great love that He needed to send a flood. God was able to save everyone who obeyed and chose to go on the ark. Yes, Ali. It was because of God's great love that He needed to send a flood. God was able to save everyone who obeyed and chose to go on the ark.
So, it was because of God's great love that He needed to send a flood. God was able to save everyone who obeyed and chose to go on the ark.
It was because of God's great love that He needed to send a flood. God was able to save everyone who obeyed and chose to go on the ark. God was able to save everyone who obeyed and chose to go on the ark.
So, it was those people who obeyed? The ones who chose to listen to God's invitation and get on the ark that were saved?
Yes, I think so, Jack. They were the ones that were rescued.
It is about choosing the right pathway. Looking back, we can see what a bad choice it was not to get on the ark.
That's right, Mel.
So if you want to be rescued, you need to choose the right pathway? Even though I'm off the team at the moment and I missed the big game, I'm glad that I told the truth and owned up to my cheating on the exam. I felt so bad when I was cheating and lying.
God was able to save those who chose to obey, those who followed His plan.
And I bet He felt pretty sad about those who didn't.
Sal, once again, that was a delicious meal.
Yeah, thanks, Mum. Can I have seconds?
Actually, Jack, you have already had seconds.
Oh, well, can I have thirds then?
You do have a healthy appetite, Jack.
And what have you two been up to today?
We went to the library and we got to see a model of Noah's Ark.
Yeah, you should have seen it, Mum and Dad. It was really interesting.
I would be interested to see that.
The display's open to parents too, Dad, so if you want, you can come and have a look for yourself.
Sounds like a good idea, Mel.
Well, Tony, we could all meet there after school tomorrow and have a look.
Sounds good to me. This looks like a very comprehensive display. Let's work our way around and start with the main Ark model. Wow! Just look at that model! What amazing detail!
So, it was a boat just like this. Noah and his family and all the animals went on to stay safe from the flood.
I have always heard the story of Noah's Ark and the big flood. But you know, until I started really looking into the Bible, I have to admit, I thought it was just a fairy tale.
Well, there are so many cartoon pictures around which show a small boat with these big animals hanging out of it. Nothing is to the correct scale. Seeing this scale model shows clearly that Noah's Ark was a real boat, which was more than capable of both fitting its cargo in properly and surviving a flood.
So what is a scale model anyway?
I know. A scale model means it is the same proportions as the real thing. It says it is 1 to 85, so for every 1 centimetre on the model, it would really be 85 centimetres.
And this model is 1.64 metres long.
The actual ark was 137 metres long, 23 metres wide, and 14 metres high.
I can see some interesting features on the Ark. See this wind-catching vane on the end here? That would have helped the Ark to slowly turn end-on into a strong wind or heavy seas, and also acted as a scoop to allow a continual airflow to help circulate air through the vessels as a ventilation system.
Does that mean that there was fresh air getting into the Ark?
With all of those stinky animals in there, they sure would have needed fresh air.
See, in the middle of the ark, there is an open section, which would have also allowed light and air to get down to the lower levels.
And here is a door and a ramp. The animals and Noah and his family would have probably walked up something like this to get into the ark.
And there is only one door, one way onto the ark.
How many levels are there on the ark?
Let's have a look at the cross-section over there. I think we can see it more clearly. There are 3 levels on the ark, but some of these levels are divided up with the mezzanine floor.
Lots of cages and pens for the animals to live in.
It would have made sense to have the larger, heavier animals on the bottom level for weight distribution and stability.
So the heavy animals like elephants, hippopotamus, rhinoceros,
and bears and lions.
Think about feeding all those animals.
Now that would have taken a lot of food every day.
Maybe not as much as you think. I would say that some of the animals would have hibernated.
What do you mean by hibernated?
In some countries where there are long, cold winter months, animals slow their heart rate to save energy and survive the winter without eating much. During hibernation, some animals move around less, but others go into a deep sleep and don't wake up until spring.
So if some of the animals on the ark were hibernating, that would have reduced the amount of food needed to feed them.
And as for cleaning up after them...
Ew, you mean cleaning up the animal poos? I would not like that job if I was on the ark.
The dung beetles would have helped with that.
What is a dung beetle?
A dung beetle is a creature that feeds on the poo from other animals. They use it for feeding and nesting. Dung beetles are very important in breaking down and recycling poo and turning it into soil.
Yuck! That's disgusting.
Dung beetles play an important part in the ecosystem, Mel.
And they would have been very helpful on the ark with all the waste that there would have been.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Let's look at the little models on the table over there.
What are these little boat models about?
Looks like this display tells us more about the size and design of the ark. It says that Noah built the ark to the exact specifications God gave him.
See this ship? It's just half the length of the ark model.
And it says it would have been very stable. But anyone on board would have had a very bumpy ride. That would have made them more seasick.
Then I wouldn't like to be on that one. I do not like being sick.
This model is twice the height.
But being twice as high, it would have been more likely to capsize, which means tip over.
Tip over? So, sink? I'll stay away from that one then.
Look at this long model, which is twice the length of Noah's Ark.
And while it would have been comfortable, it was at risk of breaking its back because it was not supported in the middle or on the ends.
Breaking its back? You mean breaking in half? That doesn't sound very good.
But Noah's Ark had the perfect proportion, which made it seaworthy, stable, comfortable and strong. The design features on this ark are really extraordinary. God's design was awesome, and just the right size for Noah and the animals so they could survive. The amazing design was made to perfectly float. Noah's Ark, extraordinary boat. Noah's Ark, extraordinary boat. God's design was awesome, and just the right size for Noah and the animals so they could survive. The amazing design was made to perfectly float. Noah's Ark, extraordinary boat. Noah's Ark, extraordinary boat. God's design was awesome, and just the right size for Noah and the animals so they could survive. The amazing design was made to perfectly float. Noah's Ark, extraordinary boat. Noah's Ark, extraordinary boat. The amazing design was made to perfectly float. Noah's Ark, extraordinary boat. Noah's Ark, extraordinary boat. Noah's Ark, extraordinary boat. Noah's Ark, extraordinary boat. What an amazing ship it was! It says that this ship could handle waves as high as 30 meters.
And the proportions of the ark were the same as modern-day ocean-going cargo ships.
Isn't that incredible? God's perfect design?
That kept Noah and all of the cargo safe.
God's design instructions given to Noah about 4,350 years ago.
So that the ark could rescue Noah, his family, and all the animals from the great flood.
It certainly looks like the ark had the capacity to carry many more people to safety.
It's so sad that so many didn't listen to Noah and accept God's invitation to come onto the ark.
Yes, it was heartbreaking that so many people did not accept the invitation to come onto the ark and be safe. I kept delaying, waiting, longing, hoping that they would change their minds, because I loved every single one of them. I asked Noah to keep on telling them that the way to safety was to get on board the ark, but they didn't want to listen. Finally, I could delay no longer. I was only able to save those who obeyed. That was a very, very sad day. There needed to be a flood to destroy the extreme wickedness that was engulfing the world, to keep open the pathway for my son to come to the earth, to enact the ultimate rescue plan for all humanity.
I needed help, but I didn't know. Needed saving from an evil foe, but I didn't even know that I was needing rescue. I didn't even know that I was needing rescue. Dangers I couldn't see, I was heading right to. I needed help, but I didn't know. Needed saving from an evil foe, but I didn't even know that I was needing rescue. Needing rescue.
I need rescue. I need.